This court, unfortunately, has to see many cases where vulnerable people are exploited by others. I wish it was not so prevalent. However, this needs to stop. So you're not new to this, and yet you exploited this helpless woman who was the victim in this case.
Please don't.
The court is going to order you to serve 58 days more, starting immediately.
Oh, please don't do
Miss
this.
Turpin, you are an incredibly poor risk.
I've never done this to anybody
don't
before.
talk over me. Don't talk over me. You're not going to cry your way out of it.
I got my grandkids outside.
Are you done, Miss Turpin, so that I can complete your sentencing? 2024 and each subsequent month.
This entitled Karen just got dragged in court after scamming and stealing thousands of dollars from a vulnerable, elderly woman. Endlessly, it's impossible to feel even a shred of sympathy for her. She's not just a scammer, she's a disgrace. Her courtroom behavior is absolutely unhinged. She tries to defend herself with the most absurd, delusional arguments, only to get obliterated by the judge every single time. What follows is a total courtroom meltdown that has to be seen to be believed. And when the sentence finally drops, it's brutal, and 100% deserved. Let's be real, people like this deserve zero mercy. Do you think the justice system should crack down even harder on scammers who prey on the weak? Drop your thoughts in the comments should the punishment be even more severe. Now, let's dive into the chaos and watch this Karen get absolutely wrecked by the judge.
Ms. Turpin, you were late to your sentencing?
I was in the other building. I didn't know which building to go to, and I ended up in the other building. That's why I was late.
All right. I don't think there's been court held in that building for 21 years.
I've never been to court here, ever. I have no idea. Now.
This matter comes before the court at this time for sentencing. Docket notes from June 18th indicate that the defendant pled guilty to count 3, computer crime, a level 8 felony. A pre-sentence report was ordered. Sentencing originally set for August the 12th, subsequently rescheduled to today's date. This court has received an updated pre-sentence report compiled by Ryan Smith, pre-sentence investigator, who is part of this meeting. I trust each attorney has received the updated report, and I'll ask the state's attorney first. Is there any objection to the criminal history as stated in the report?
I did receive the update, Your Honor, and no objection.
Any objection to criminal history by the defense here, Mr. Watts? Mr. Watts? You're muted.
Your Honor, no objection to the criminal history score.
Court will adopt the criminal history as stated in the report and finds that the criminal history score applicable to today's sentencing is criminal history score H, and the court will proceed further accordingly. Ms. Norris, do you know of any legal reason why sentence should not be pronounced in the Turpin case here this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Watts, are you aware of any such legal reason?
No, sir.
Ms. Turpin, are you aware of a legal reason or any other good reason why the court shouldn't proceed further with your sentencing?
No, sir.
We'll proceed further then. Counsel, I'm not aware that there's been a motion for a departure sentence or any other sentencing related motion to take up. Does the state have any such motions to pursue?
No, Your Honor.
Does the defense, Mr. Watts?
No, sir.
Very well. Are there any victims or members of a victim's family who desires to address the court in relation to this sentencing? Who is Deborah's iPhone? Or Jacqueline Green?
Your Honor, Jacqueline Green is the victim witness coordinator in the office.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And there's no family members with her?
Not that I'm aware of. And Your Honor, I'm not sure who Deborah's iPhone is.
Is there someone whose screen name is Deborah's iPhone who wishes to address the court in relation to this Turpin sentencing? I would just like to have a yes or a no.
No, I do not need to address. This is Deborah, victim's daughter.
Okay. Did you wish to address the court?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you. At this time, then, the court will ask for recommendations from counsel regarding an appropriate sentence for Ms. Turpin, beginning with Amber Norris on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, state would be recommending for the felony crime of computer crime the court follow the presumption and assign defendant to 9 months in the Department of Corrections. Defendant would be able to earn 20% good time credit and would be subject to 12 months post-release. Defendant has earned 2 days of jail time credit.
Based on this Karen's reaction to the prosecutor's recommendation, you'd think she was expecting a participation trophy, not prison time. Make it make sense. She scams a helpless elderly woman out of thousands, then walks into court acting like she's the victim. Like, ma'am, this isn't some TikTok apology video. Fake tears and dramatic regret don't mean anything here. And get this, the judge hasn't even said a word yet, and she's already sobbing like she's on stage at the Oscars. It's like showing up to a cooking competition, realizing your dish is still frozen in the middle, and bawling during the intro. Here's the reality. When you prey on the vulnerable, judges don't care about your crocodile tears. They care about restitution and real consequences. So now I want to hear from you. How much time do you think she deserves? Because honestly, anything short of serious time would be a slap in the face to real justice. Drop your sentence recommendations in the comments. This one's going to get heated.
And, Your Honor, this is a presumptive probation matter based on the crime and defendant's criminal history. So I asked the court to assign her to 18 months community corrections probation with all standard and PSI recommended probation conditions, including a drug evaluation, no contact, and Your Honor, this is a community corrections case, so the court will need to assess standard probation and costs of the case, but then also the community corrections fee. There is restitution in the amount of $1,305.44. Some of that goes to the victim's family, and some of it goes to the bank. We'll make sure that the dollar amounts are specifically set out in the journal entry. Mr. Watts is appointed, so the court will need to address court-appointed attorney's fees and the bid's application fee. And, Your Honor, I don't think I have any further recommendations for the court at this time.
Very well, Ms. Norris. Mr. Watts, your recommendations regarding an appropriate sentence?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we join the state's recommendation there in keeping with the plea agreement. I believe we join the recommendation of the mitigated 9 months with the post-release and probation durations and good time credits as noted. We likewise have no objection to the restitution that is set out in the PSI. I don't know that I have a whole lot else to add, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your fees and the representation of this client?
This is billed at $1,000 to bids.
Thank you. At this time, the court will address the defendant, Patricia Turpin, personally and ask her if she has any statements that she wishes to make in mitigation of punishment or anything further that she would like to present to the court. Ms. Turpin?
I just want to apologize to the victim's daughter. I'm very sorry for what I did, and
Okay.
I really just want to say sorry to her.
Wow. I think I just shed a tear not from emotion, but from laughing at this entitled Karen's so-called heartfelt apology. Like seriously, you whispered the word sorry like it was a secret password to skip jail time. Not exactly the redemption arc you thought it was. She really tried to soft launch remorse over Zoom, like we all didn't just watch her arguing with the judge about being late to her own court hearing 10 minutes earlier. Ma'am, no amount of pixelated tears and shaky voice is going to erase the receipts. If anything, that half-baked apology just gave the judge even more ammo to deliver a digital smackdown. Do you think these fake apologies should backfire harder in court? Should judges go even tougher when they see this kind of performance? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because accountability isn't optional, and this one was straight up embarrassing.
Right. Any other statements for the court, Ms. Turpin?
No.
Very well. Court will pronounce sentence in this case at this time. Court hereby establishes count 3 as the base sentence in the case for the offense of computer crime, a severity level 8, non-drug, non-person felony, in which the defendant has a criminal history score of H, thus placing her in grid box 8H. Court hereby sentences the defendant to a term of 9 months in the custody of the Secretary of Corrections, the state of Kansas. On this sentence, the defendant may earn up to 20% of good time credit and would be subject to 12 months of post-release supervision. No fine is imposed on that count. Court does note that in grid box 8H, this would be a presumptive probation case under Kansas law. There does not appear to be a special rule application here or a motion for departure to disturb that presumption. And the court will grant the defendant 18 months of initial probation term to be supervised by community corrections. Community corrections supervision is deemed appropriate due to the high risk score on the risk needs assessment that was conducted in this case. Conditions of that probation will be to report to an officer as directed, observe all laws, obtain a substance abuse evaluation within 45 days of today's date, and abide by the recommendations of that evaluation. She shall not possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs while on probation. At her ISO's request and at her own expense, submit to random breath, blood, and urinalysis testing, perform any community service work pursuant to any program requirements, gain and maintain employment successfully throughout her probationary term, notify her ISO of any change in employment status, residence, telephone number, or email address within 48 hours of any such change happening, have no contact with the victim in this case or members of the victim's immediate family. She shall submit her DNA to the KBI data bank and be responsible for the $200 cost of the test, abide by any curfew or travel restrictions imposed by her officer, follow all standard conditions of probation, not have in her possession firearms or dangerous weapons, and avoid disreputable characters and places. The defendant shall also make monthly payments on her obligations owed to the court, which would include a felony docket fee, felony probation fee, community corrections fee, the $200 DNA fee, and a bids application fee of $100. Attorney fees are waived, as the court will also be ordering this defendant to pay $1,305.44 in restitution to the victims in the case, as their interest may appear. Ms. Turpin, there's one other order that the court wishes to consider in this case. This court, unfortunately, has to see many cases where vulnerable people are exploited by others. I wish it was not so prevalent. However, this needs to stop. You are not new to the court system. You have, I believe, 3 prior property crime offenses on your record. So you're not new to this, and yet you exploited this helpless woman who was the victim in this case. And the court does have discretion, despite the fact that the legislature has determined you're not a prison case, that the court can impose up to 60 days in the county jail as a condition of probation. And that's exactly what the court's going to do here, Ms. Turpin.
Please don't.
The court is going to order you to serve 58 days more because you've got 2 days of jail time credit against that sentence.
Can we schedule it?
Starting immediately.
Oh,
Ms. Turpin,
please don't do
Ms.
this.
Turpin, you are an incredibly poor risk.
I've never done this to
Hey,
anybody
don't talk
before.
over me. Don't talk over me. You're an
Please.
extremely poor risk to show up in jail on any type of schedule because
I promise I will.
You couldn't even make your sentencing on time today. Further,
I
last
was
time
in
you
the
were
other building.
directed
I've
to
never
appear
been here
at the
before.
Judicial Center, and you didn't. Look, we're not going to talk over
I
each
went
other.
to the other building.
I've
on
made my
accident.
ruling. You're not going to cry your
Judge,
way out of it.
Please.
All right.
I got my
Yeah.
grandkids outside.
I swear, it's like this woman brought her kids to court just in case she got sentenced so she could pull the classic "but I have grandkids" card, like it's some kind of legal cheat code that cancels out fraud. This whole circus feels like she watched one episode of Law and Order, decided she was a courtroom expert, and thought she could improv her way out of real consequences. Meanwhile, the actual victim's family is forced to sit there and listen as she plays the real victim routine, like gaslighting the courtroom is part of her legal strategy. Make it make sense. The judge isn't a casting director auditioning for the next emotionally unstable lead in a courtroom drama. This isn't Netflix, it's real life. And legally speaking, her little meltdown has zero footing and a whole lot of delusion. She's not even attempting to defend her actions. There's no logic, no accountability, just a dramatic tone. A few vague mentions of regret, and a desperate hope that vibes will outweigh evidence. Let's be honest, when you're facing real charges, fake tears and family props don't win the case. They just make the fall even harder. What do you think? Should using sympathy stunts like this actually lead to harsher sentencing? Let me know in the comments, because this courtroom performance deserves 0 awards and maximum consequences.
All right. Are you done, Ms. Turpin, so that I can complete your sentencing? Again, the court has announced 2 days of jail time credit. At some point in the future, Ms. Turpin, you may have the right to seek expungement of this offense. Certain statutory limitations do apply. If you have any question about your right to someday seek expungement, you can address those questions to a lawyer and I'm sure get your questions answered. Under certain limited circumstances, defendants have a right to appeal their conviction to an appellate court having jurisdiction. And if defendants are unable to pay the cost of an appeal, they may ask the court to appoint a lawyer to represent them on appeal and that they be supplied with a transcript of trial court proceedings. Pursuant to KSA 223608C, you, the defendant, have 14 days after this judgment in court to file any notice of appeal with the clerk of the District Court of Butler County, Kansas. You do have the right to appeal this sentence if the court has ruled adversely to you, the defendant, at this hearing. I will remind you that there's prohibitions against a convicted felon possessing a firearm, and that there are losses of certain civil rights, such as the right to vote, until your sentence is fully discharged. Ms. Norris, I wanted to ask you, of all of the financial assessments you were asking the court to impose, has the court covered all of those?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
All right. Mr. Watts, is there anything further from the defense side that the court still needs to address?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. The court is going to order Patricia Turpin into the immediate custody of the Butler County Sheriff's Representative
Judge, please, my
until her custody can be transferred to the Butler County Jail to serve out 58 more days.
Please don't.
And Judge, what month did you want the payments to start?
Yes, we do need to come back to that. In light of the fact that she's going to be incarcerated essentially through September and October, the court's not realistically going to expect her to make payments during those months. So the court will start her payment obligation as earlier announced for the calendar month of November of 2024 and each subsequent month until her obligations are paid in full. All right. I think the sentencing proceeding is concluded at this point. Mr. Smith, thank you for your work on the case and your appearance here today, Ms. Toronis. Ms. Toronis, she's a little bit emotional right now. Do you still want to have a session with her?
Yeah, I'd like to try if I could, please, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and recess this proceeding. Ms. Turpin should stay. I'll just direct court security. She needs to make contact with her ISO so she knows what to do when she gets out of jail.
Please, Judge, please.
All right.
Let me schedule this jail time.
If
Please.
there's nothing further, the Turpin matter will be in recess at this time, and we can conclude the record and leave the Zoom meeting open for the ISO.
Let me know in the comments, did the judge go to easy or absolutely nail it? I'm seriously curious where you guys stand on this one. Personally, that sentence was a cold, hard reality check, colder than a frozen Zoom screen during a fake apology. Let's be real, scamming an elderly woman online isn't just a crime, it's straight up villain origin story energy. You don't just accidentally reroute someone's retirement fund to your own account. That takes planning, intention, and a serious lack of humanity. And let's stop pretending that being a grandma makes you wise by default. This one clearly skipped the life experience part and went straight to Facebook scammer mode. No amount of fake tears, sketchy Wi-Fi, or crocodile remorse is going to undo what she did. Actions have consequences, and today, she finally felt one. So tell me, was justice served, or should the gavel have hit even harder? Drop your take in the comments, I want to hear it. And if you're into watching entitled scammers crash and burn in court, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because we've got a lot more courtroom chaos coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next takedown.